Okay team, hope this finds you well. Let's take a look at one of the ghostly issues in boxing right now, namely the slow-burning controversy which is currently gathering momentum as I speak. Turkey Al-Sheikh, GEA, the WBA, the World Boxing Association, Boxrec, and the long-standing yet often overlooked Fight Facts. Let's start with what we know. Fight Facts isn't new. In fact, it predates Boxrec by a decent chunk of time. Fight Facts was originally set up with a very specific goal, not necessarily to serve boxing fans worldwide like Boxrec eventually would, but to ensure accuracy, safety and order within the sport. It worked closely with the Association of Boxing Commissions, or the ABC, in the USA, providing vital data to regulators and commissions to maintain fighter safety. Its primary intention wasn't for the general public, instead it was used for regulatory purposes within the sport itself. In its heyday, Fight Facts produced an annual book, a weighty tome that featured the records of every active fighter worldwide who had boxed within the preceding 12 months. This was a monumental task, and up until about 2011, this book was the go-to resource for the ABC and other commissions. I'm fortunate enough to have the 2010 edition, and it is massive. However, when Boxrec arrived on the scene in the 1990s, everything began to change. Boxrec grew exponentially with its open access website constantly updated, while Fight Facts' periodic updates and yearly books just couldn't keep up. Over time, Boxrec became the preferred platform for fight fans, promoters and even commissions. It became a standard go-to, while Fight Facts slowly faded away into the background, even though it maintained its position as the group of choice for the ABC, and that was up until recently. Now, here's where things begin to get a bit cloudy. Turkey Al-Sheikh, through his Saudi-backed General Entertainment Authority, the GEA, tried to buy Boxrec. When that didn't work, not only was he said to be furious that somebody had the gall to say no to him, he quickly pivoted and came up with a desert remix on an old maxim: if you can't buy them, beat them. He switched gears and threw his support behind Fight Facts. Suddenly, the once dormant Fight Facts began re-emerging, but this time with the financial muscle of Al-Sheikh and his GEA group behind it. The WBA, one of the sport's four major sanctioning bodies, has also moved its data to Fight Facts, becoming almost the site's official governing body, a development that has left the boxing world in confusion. As part of this shift, Boxrec has removed most references to the WBA on its platform. Fights that were WBA sanctioned are now showing up as non-title fights on Boxrec, leaving fans and even boxing historians scratching their heads. But what's crucial here is the uncertainty about who made the first move. Did the WBA, in aligning with Fight Facts, force Boxrec's hand to make this drastic decision, or did Boxrec preemptively cut ties with the WBA upon hearing of the move to Fight Facts? The truth remains unclear at the moment. To add another layer to this confusion, a Boxrec editor who worked voluntarily to maintain the platform was approached by a promoter for a regional WBA title fight in the Middle East. This promoter wanted to know why the WBA was no longer listed on Boxrec. The editor didn't have an answer, but said he would ask and report back. When he attempted to find out via Boxrec's private admin forum, his admin privileges were suddenly revoked. His emails and messages have since been ignored. This has raised serious questions about the transparency of Boxrec's decision-making process and why even internal staff members are being kept in the dark. You may be asking, why does all this matter? Well, for one, it's causing havoc for anyone trying to track fighters' careers. Important WBA title fights are no longer listed as such on Boxrec, and this could alter how we view the careers of certain fighters, especially if you're new into the sport and trying to find your way around it. There's also the question of credibility. Fight Facts, while now backed by serious money, simply doesn't have the track record that Boxrec does in terms of accessibility and transparency, and ominously says it's working on a new formula for constructing rankings. I personally have to wonder if this formula has GEA insignia attached to it. To give an example, Canelo Alvarez, who is ranked number 1 at super middleweight on Boxrec, is listed much lower on Fight Facts. And remember, Canelo is a WBA champion on a WBA-sponsored, essentially, site. The discrepancy between these platforms could cause major confusion for fans, promoters, and even fighters themselves, depending on which platform they use for the information. At first, Al-Sheikh's move to modernise Fight Facts and partner with the WBA may have seemed like a positive shift for the sport, but cracks are starting to show. What began as an attempt to reshape the way boxing data is managed has instead created confusion and chaos. With the WBA's history now being effectively erased from Boxrec, at least for the moment, it feels like the sport itself is becoming fractured. As boxing fans, we rely on accurate information. When that's put in jeopardy, it affects not only how we view the sport today, but also how we understand its history. So, what's next? Will Fight Facts really emerge as a credible alternative to Boxrec, or are we about to witness a messy power struggle that leaves fans and fighters caught in the middle? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. Stay tuned as we continue to track these developments, and as always, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Should Boxrec have removed the WBA references? Is Fight Facts a legitimate contender to Boxrec's crown? Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to LVD Sport for more updates on the world of boxing. Till next time, keep your gloves up and your chin down. Oos!